Hello everyone, welcome to my channel. In today's lecture, we will be talking about congenital malformations part 2, congenital malformations part 2. So, just recapitulating once more, in previous class we were talking about the congenital malformations, where we have spoken that the genital ridge has given rise to the ovary or the testis depending upon SRY region is present or not. So, SRY region and resultant SOX9 region was responsible for male phenotype, whereas WNT4 gene was responsible for the female phenotype and the genotype. Beside this, you were having the mesonephric duct and the Mullerian ducts. This was the mesonephric duct or the Wolffian duct, and then you had the paramesonephric duct or the Mullerian duct, which was beside this. So, what happened due to this? What will happen? Either of the ducts will be there, and if female genital organs were developed, then there is fusion from below upwards. So, this is all what we had studied in previous class. Also, we had studied what are the embryological origin of various male and female genital organs. We have also mentioned it in the MCQ of the day yesterday, and moving forward with today's class. And one more thing which we had discussed is hermaphroditism. In hermaphroditism, we had already studied what are the male and female hermaphrodites, pseudo-hermaphrodites, and what is congenital adrenal hyperplasia and what is androgen insensitivity syndrome or testicular feminization syndrome. These all things we have studied in part 1. Now, in part 2 today, we will be talking about fusion defects. We will be talking first of all regarding the fusion defects. Now, what actually is fusion defects? We had already studied that the Mullerian duct gets fused from below upwards. So, these are the two Mullerian ducts which had got fused, and the fusion progresses from below upwards, and the fusion completes by 20 weeks period of gestation. The fusion starts around 10 to 11 weeks period of gestation. So, if the fusion, during fusion what happens? Two things happen. This is one Mullerian duct and this is another Mullerian duct. So, there is a vertical septum. So, there will be dissolution of the vertical septum. Moreover, this Mullerian duct also gets fused with the urogenital sinus or sinovaginal node, sinovaginal node or urogenital sinus. So, this is the septum which will also get dissolved. So, these are the two septums, one is the vertical septum which gets dissolved and the other is the horizontal septum which gets dissolved. So, if this horizontal septum does not get dissolved, then I had already spoken that you have transverse vaginal septum. Then you have disorders with transverse vaginal septum, and or there can be imperforate hymen. But if there is difficulty in fusion of the vertical septum, then it gives rise to various disorders what we will be talking about today. So, at the very onset, I would like to talk about difference between transverse vaginal septum and imperforate hymen. So, basically imperforate hymen is a terminology used when this is the cervix and then this is the vagina, you can consider it to be the vaginal opening, and then the vulva. So, at the vaginal opening, which is called the introitus, always remember the vaginal opening is called the introitus. Just above the introitus, you have a membranous covering which is called the hymen. So, because of some congenital malformations, if the hymen is solidified and it does not have any pore, then what happens? The patient might have menstrual bleeding which will be concealed in this part of the uterus or the vagina, and it will not be able to come out. So, these patients can present at various stages of their life. First of all, in infancy, during the infancy life, what happens is patients, the glands of the cervix, and the glands of the vagina keep secreting mucus material under the effect of maternal estrogen. Remember, मदर का जो ईस्ट्रोजन होता है उसके इन्फ्लुएंस में आके फीमेल बेबीज start secreting mucus secretion from their vagina and the cervix. So, these mucus secretions will get accumulated above the hymen if it is an imperforate hymen, and it will lead to a condition called mucocolpos. हमेशा याद रखना है, कॉल्पोस का मतलब है वेजाइना, समथिंग टू डू विद वेजाइना, वेजाइना का दूसरा नाम है कॉल्पोस. म्यूकोस मीन्स म्यूकस मटेरियल. तो अगर म्यूकस मटेरियल वेजाइना में सिक्रीट हो रहा है एंड एक्यूमुलेट हो रहा है, उसको बोलेंगे म्यूकोकॉल्पोस. दिस ऑकर्स इन इन्फेंसी. ओके, फिर क्या हुआ, इन्फेंसी के बाद जब मैटरनल ईस्ट्रोजन कवर धीरे धीरे कम होने लगता है इन चाइल्डहुड, देन दिस म्यूकोकॉल्पोस रिजॉल्व्स. द नेक्स्ट प्रॉब्लम विच कम्स इज एट प्यूबर्टी. प्यूबर्टी में नेक्स्ट प्रॉब्लम आता है. तो what happens at puberty? Basically the ovaries become mature now, and the ovarian cycle, that is the cycle of your estrogen and progesterone, all the hormonal cycles start, and at the end of the monthly cycle what happens, there is drop in estrogen and progesterone, because of which patient will menstruate. So, the endometrium will shed off and the female will menstruate. So, all the menstrual blood which will get collected first in the vagina, जब वेजाइना भर जाएगा तब अंदर एंडोमेट्रियल कैविटी में भर जाएगा ब्लड, उसके बाद दोनों फेलोपियन ट्यूब्स में भी भर जाएगा ब्लड, एंड देन एब्डोमिनल कैविटी में भी भरना स्टार्ट हो जाएगा. सो व्हाट हैपेंस इज, फर्स्ट देयर विल बी hematocolpos. Hemato means blood, colpos means vagina. So, hematocolpos followed by hematometra. Hemato means blood, metra means endometrium. एंडोमेट्रियम से टर्म आया मेट्रा. तो यूट्रस के अंदर ब्लड कलेक्ट हो गया, देन उसके बाद भी और फिल होता रहा. देन यू हैव हेमाटोसैल्पिंग्स, मतलब फेलोपियन ट्यूब्स में भी ब्लड भर गया, and then finally there will be hemoperitoneum. पेरिटोनियम में भी ब्लड चला जाएगा. ओके, सो दीज आर द फीचर्स विथ विच पेशेंट्स ऑफ imperforate hymen or transverse vaginal septum present. Then the next thing is they will have cyclical abdominal pain. Cyclical abdominal pain, this is a very important thing because you get gynae case scenarios based on this. A patient will come with primary amenorrhea. Primary amenorrhea मतलब कभी भी आज तक periods नहीं आया, and patient will have cyclical abdominal pain every month. So, this is suggestive of patient is having menses, but patient is not, the menstrual blood is not coming out. So, this type of scenario is called cryptomenorrhea. Cryptomenorrhea. What do you mean by crypto? Crypto means hidden. Crypto means hidden. जब किसी चीज़ को छुपा दिया जाता है उसको क्रिप्टो बोलते हैं, एंड मेनोरिया मीन्स मेंसेस. सो मेंसेस को छुपा दिया है, क्रिप्टोमेनोरिया. What is the treatment of such a patient? Treatment is you have to just give incision to the hymen or the transverse vaginal septum. You have to incise it and you have to keep it patent. So, what we do is basically, so now how do you differentiate between this transverse vaginal septum and the imperforate hymen? अगर imperforate hymen है तो hymen बहुत thin होता है, it is very thin. So, you will have a bluish bulge. Bluish bulge is seen in the vagina. So, if you do a per speculum examination or you do a local examination, you will find a bluish bulge which will be present because the blood inside the upper part of the vagina will be bulging the hymen upwards, ठीक है, outwards, जिसके कारण एक bluish bulge दिखेगा. But if bluish bulge is absent, then it means the membrane is very thick. In this case, it will be because of transverse vaginal septum. And transverse vaginal septum में भी एक और MCQ आता है. I have told the upper septum is more common than middle septum, is more common than lower part of the septum. Okay. So upper part of the vagina में transverse vaginal septum is most common. 50% of the females will have upper vaginal septum, 25 will have middle vaginal septum and 20% will have lower vaginal septum. The rest of it is unknown कहाँ पे septum है. तो these are the questions which come from imperforate hymen and transverse vaginal septum. Next, let us move to other fusion disorders. Okay. Now, these fusion disorders are grouped under Mullerian duct anomalies. They are categorized under Mullerian duct anomalies. So, Mullerian duct के जितने भी abnormalities है उनको एक साथ classify किया गया है. So, you have 7 classification of system. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So, 7 classes. Okay. This is called AFS classification. American Fertility Society. American Fertility Society has given this classification initially. Okay. Then it was modified by Eschrey. Eschrey has modified it. European Society of Human Reproduction and Embryology, they have modified it. Okay. So, for you as undergraduates, you will be requiring the AFS classification. ठीक है. अब एशरे का जो classification है that is relatively new and एशरे का classification generally post graduates MD students से पूछा जाता है, आप लोगों से नहीं पूछा जाएगा. But if you are giving INI exam like AIMS and PGI का exam and JIPMER का exam if you are giving, then there might be 1 or 2 questions which come from Eschrey classification. In this class, I will not go into much detail of Eschrey because usually NEET PG में ज़रूरत नहीं पड़ता. लेकिन I will post a separate video whereby I will talk about this Eschrey classification. Those who are interested, you can see my that video also. Coming to American Fertility Society AFS classification, जो class 1 है that is MRKH syndrome. MRKH means Mayer-Rokitansky Kuster-Hauser syndrome. Mayer-Rokitansky Kuster-Hauser syndrome. So, Mayer-Rokitansky Kuster-Hauser syndrome is where the Mullerian ducts are absent. Both Mullerian ducts are absent. Both Mullerian ducts are absent. This means आपके Mullerian duct से related all the structures will be absent. This means what all things will be absent? Uterus will be absent, fallopian tubes will be absent on both the sides, then cervix will be absent and upper 2/3 of the vagina will also be absent. Upper 2/3 of vagina absent होगा. But what will be present? These patients will have ovaries. Ovaries present होंगे उनके पास. क्यों? Because ovaries were being produced from the genital ridge. ठीक है, मेरे प्रीवियस वीडियो में जाके एक बार फिर से रिवाइज कर लेना. ओवरीज आर प्रोड्यूस्ड फ्रॉम जेनाइटल रिज, दे आर नॉट प्रोड्यूस्ड फ्रॉम मुलेरियन डक्ट. तो ऐसे फीमेल्स के पास सिर्फ ओवरीज होंगे लेकिन उनके पास ना यूट्रस है, ना फेलोपियन ट्यूब है, ना सर्विक्स है, ना अपर 2/3 ऑफ वेजाइना है, बट लोअर 1/3 ऑफ वेजाइना है. इट मीन्स दे आर हैविंग अ ब्लाइंड वेजाइना. Okay, so during a PV examination, you will find that the vagina is very shallow and it is blind. Okay, so this is class 1, that is MRKH or Mayer-Rokitansky Kuster-Hauser syndrome or Mullerian agenesis. agenesis बोल देंगे क्योंकि बिल्कुल ही इनके पास Mullerian ducts नहीं है. Coming to category 2. Category 2 are unicornuate uterus. Unicornuate uterus means one-sided Mullerian duct developed, the other side it was agenesis. तो एक साइड का Mullerian duct नहीं बना, दूसरे साइड का बन गया. So you have one-sided fallopian tube and half of the uterus present and the cervix and then the vagina. So this is unicornuate uterus. It is category 2. Coming to category 3. Category 3 is didelphys uterus. Didelphys uterus मतलब जो बीच का जो फ्यूजन है वो नहीं हुआ था. It means both the Mullerian ducts have developed separately. इसका मतलब दो fallopian tubes है, 2 यूट्रस है, 2 सर्विक्स है, 2 cervix and 2 vagina. So, everything is separate. Okay. 2 fallopian tubes, 2 uterus, 2 cervix and 2 vagina. Everything is separate, it is called didelphys uterus. Okay. So, what happens is if you do HSG, hysterosalpingography, you put the dye, you find the entire cavity is different, or else you do an MRI, you find that both, means there will be 2 fallopian tubes, 2 ovaries, ovaries to hai, 2 uterus, 2 cervix and 2 vagina. Coming to category 4, category 4 is bicornuate uterus, bicornuate uterus. Bicornuate uterus का मतलब है कि uterine cavity is separate, uterine cavity is separate, but they will have one vagina, vagina एक है, bicornuate uterus में vagina एक है, uterine cavities अलग अलग है. अब it can be 4A and 4B, 4A and 4B. 4A is bicornuate, bicornuate unicolis, bicornuate bicolis, there is a mistake, kindly excuse. 4A is bicornuate unicolis, bicornuate unicolis, and 4B is bicornuate bicolis. Okay. What do you mean by this? Bicolis means number of cervix, bicolis means 2 cervix and unicolis means 1 cervix. Okay. So, basically vagina तो एक है. Now, it depends, देखो जैसे bicornuate unicolis means 2 fallopian tubes and 2 uterus तो है ही, ठीक है, till here it is same. Then they have 1 cervix, okay, cervix is same and then the vagina is also same. It is only the uterine cavity which is different, cervix and vagina is the one same. And bicornuate bicolis means this is the uterine cavity, it is different, 2 fallopian tubes, 2 uterine cavities and you have 2 cervix, bicolis means 2 cervix and 1 vagina. So, vagina is 1 and you have 2 cervix, okay, 2 cervix. So, it is very important to see कि 2 vagina है, अगर 2 vagina, एक vagina है तो 2 cervix है, या फिर एक vagina एक cervix है, 2 uterus है. That differentiates between category 3, category 4A and category 4B. Coming to category 5, category 5 is your septate uterus. Septate uterus, septate uterus का मतलब है कि यूट्रस तो एक है, ठीक है, दिस इज द फेलोपियन ट्यूब एंड दिस इज द यूट्रस इज ऑल्सो वन, सर्विक्स इज ऑल्सो वन, वेजाइना इज ऑल्सो वन, but there is a septum which is dividing the uterus. Now, septum can be incomplete, can be complete, septum can be incomplete, septum can be complete septum. So, complete septum means the septum is extending right up to the vagina. Okay. So, since the initial part you will find कि एक septum है बीच में and the 2 cavities are बिल्कुल separate, but in incomplete septum the septum can be either up to the level of the uterus or it can extend down a bit up to your this thing up to the cervix, or it can come into half of the vagina. So, this is complete and incomplete. And coming to number 6 is arcuate uterus. Arcuate uterus, arcuate uterus का मतलब है यूट्रस का जो फंडस पे जो बल्ज होता है, नॉर्मली यूट्राइन फंडस has a bulge, this bulge is present. Now, if this bulge is absent, then it is a T-shaped uterus. इसका T-shaped uterus होता है ऐसे. The fundal bulge is absent. When the fundal bulge is absent, it is called arcuate uterus. Okay. And coming to number 7 is your DES exposure. DES exposure. DES exposure का मतलब है diethyl stilbestrol. Diethyl stilbestrol was a type of estrogen which was used initially, but nowadays diethyl stilbestrol is not in use. This is because it was associated with many anomalies, that is why it is now out of the market. So, diethylstilbestrol से क्या क्या problem हो रहा था females में? This is a very important question and you get MCQ in your NEET PG. So, number 1 नीचे से अगर ऊपर जाते हैं, मान लो ये आपका डायग्राम ड्रॉ कर देता हूँ मैं. Now, this is the uterus and you have the cervix and then the vagina. Okay. So, what all abnormalities can be caused by diethylstilbestrol in infancy? ठीक है, अगर प्रेगनेंसी में या किसी को अगर एक्सपोजर हो जाए मदर का, तो बेबी इफ इट इज़ अ फीमेल बेबी देन दैट बेबी विल डेवलप दीज ऑल थिंग्स. सो अगर वेजाइना में आए देन वेजाइना में यू हैव वेजाइनल एडिनोसिस number 1, and also you can have vaginal clear cell carcinoma, clear cell carcinoma. So, these are the things which develop in the vagina. Coming to cervix, in cervix patients develop cervical intraepithelial neoplasia or adenocarcinoma of cervix. Adenocarcinoma is glandular cancer. So, remember everywhere it is the glands which are proliferating more and glandular cancers are being formed. So, देखो clear cell cancer is also because of glandular proliferation, adenocarcinoma is also because of glandular proliferation at the level of the cervix. Then if you come to the uterus के अंदर, अच्छा, there can be other things also. This is a malignant thing. You can have a benign thing also which is called cervical hood or collars. So, you can have some of the proliferating part in the cervix which will look like a collar upon the cervix. And then coming to the uterus, in most of the cases the most common anomaly, next question, most common anomaly is your hypoplastic uterus. Hypoplastic uterus मतलब uterine hypoplasia. Uterus is infantile, छोटा सा uterus रहता है, that is most common anomaly associated with DES exposure. But most specific anomaly which is seen with DES exposure is your T-shaped uterus. T-shaped uterine cavity. T-shaped uterine cavity is this. This uterine cavity जो अंदर वाला cavity है वो ऐसा हो जाएगा, T-shaped cavity हो जाएगा. This is specific for DES exposure, means this part of the uterus will be hyperproliferating. ये muscle बहुत hyperproliferate हो जाएगा, तो जो endometrial cavity है that will be very thin. Endometrial cavity बहुत thin हो जाएगा. This is the most specific finding for DES exposure, whereas most common finding with DES exposure is your hypoplastic uterus. Very important question. So, please never forget this. Apart from that, what do you mean by adenosis? Adenosis means, vaginal adenosis means sometimes क्या होता है कि आपका जो glandular cells होता है, the glands of the vagina, this is being replaced by this thing, squamous epithelium when the vagina matures. But if it is not being able to be replaced by the squamous epithelium, then there will be a lot of glandular part in the vagina which will help in secreting, keep on secreting, and this is called vaginal adenosis, because more and more of secretion will lead to clear cell cancer in later on cases. But if it is a male fetus, in utero, then male fetus is also, if exposed to diethylstilbestrol, they will also develop some disorders. Now, what disorders are associated with male fetuses? One is your hypospadias, because these babies are being exposed to more and more of estrogen. So, testicular function, that is your androgenic exposure, gets reduced. So, patient will have hypospadias, cryptorchidism, okay. Then these males will develop hypoplastic testis, okay. So, these are the characteristics which are found in males and these are the characteristics which are found in females. So, here we have discussed the AFS classification, American Fertility Society classification of 7 types of Mullerian duct anomalies. Okay. Now, one very important thing I want to discuss, you get questions and in your practical examination also people ask, what is the difference between androgen insensitivity syndrome and your MRKH syndrome, and third is your Turner syndrome. Very, very, very important thing, concept which I am explaining right now. Keep your full attention. एंड्रोजन इंसेंसिटिविटी सिंड्रोम में क्या था, द कैरियोटाइप वॉज XY, ठीक है, कैरियोटाइप XY था लेकिन बाहर से दिखने में वो फीमेल था, एक्चुअली प्रॉब्लम क्या हुआ था, देयर वॉज टेस्टोस्टेरॉन वॉज नॉट गेटिंग कन्वर्टेड टू डाईहाइड्रोटेस्टोस्टेरॉन बिकॉज 5 अल्फा रिडक्टेज का प्रॉब्लम था, 5 अल्फा रिडक्टेज नहीं था एंजाइम और देयर वॉज रेजिस्टेंस टू 5 अल्फा रिडक्टेज एंजाइम, तो टेस्टोस्टेरॉन वॉज नॉट गेटिंग कन्वर्टेड टू डाईहाइड्रोटेस्टोस्टेरॉन। तो ऐसे में क्या हुआ था, इंटरनल जेनिटेलिया तो मेल का बन गया था, इंटरनल जेनिटेलिया बिकॉज टेस्टोस्टेरॉन वॉज फॉर्मिंग द इंटरनल जेनिटेलिया, बट एक्सटर्नल जेनिटेलिया फॉर्म नहीं हुआ था क्योंकि एक्सटर्नल जेनिटेलिया के लिए तो डाईहाइड्रोटेस्टोस्टेरॉन की ज़रूरत है, तो एक्सटर्नल जेनिटेलिया नहीं बना था, तो एक्सटर्नली पेनिस वॉज नॉट फॉर्म्ड एंड सो एक्सटर्नली इट वॉज लुकिंग लाइक अ फीमेल. But what happened is internal genitalia was like a male and internally the chromosome was also XY because testes were formed. So, basically he was a male, but patient will be reared like a female. So, it will be a tall good looking female externally. Okay. Now, MRKH syndrome में क्या है, MRKH patients they are females of course, XX होता है, they have their ovaries था, अभी जो हमने मुलेरियन एजेनेसिस पढ़ा था कैटेगरी 1, तो इसमें क्या था, ओवरीज था, बट दे डू नॉट हैव देयर यूट्रस, फेलोपियन ट्यूब, ठीक है, अपर पार्ट सर्विक्स एंड अपर 2/3 ऑफ वेजाइना उनके पास नहीं था, बट उनके पास ओवरीज था. सो इफ ओवरीज आर देयर then secondary sexual characteristics are present. Secondary sexual characteristics का मतलब है hair. So, hair in the pubic area, hair in the axillary area, they were all present. Turner syndrome में क्या है, Turner syndrome में it is an XO female. Because it is XO, then the ovaries are they are streak gonads. Streak gonads का मतलब है कि ovaries are very small, rudimentary form of ovaries. So, these ovaries will secrete less and less of estrogen, estradiol will be low and so secondary sexual characters will not develop. Secondary sexual characters are not developing. Why? Because estrogen is low, because the ovaries are rudimentary form. सो बेसिकली आपका डिफरेंस कहाँ पे आएगा, अब देखो ये तीनों टाइप ऑफ पेशेंट अगर हमारे पास ओपीडी में आ गया तो क्या मैं देख के पता कर सकता हूँ कि कौन से पेशेंट को एंड्रोजन इंसेंसिटिविटी है, कौन सा MRKH है, कौन सा टर्नर सिंड्रोम है, बिकॉज ऑल विल हैव प्राइमरी एमेनोरिया, तीनों को प्राइमरी एमेनोरिया रहेगा, तीनों विल बी लुकिंग लाइक फीमेल्स एंड तीनों पीपल विल हैव प्राइमरी एमेनोरिया, मतलब तीनों को ही ऐसे कंप्लेंट के साथ आएगी कि उनके पीरियड्स कभी नहीं आए हैं एंड दे आर मोर देन 16 ईयर्स ऑफ एज. तो हम क्या करेंगे, सबसे पहले तो कैरियोटाइपिंग तो बाद की बात है, हमें क्या क्या देखना है, वी विल सी 2 थिंग्स. वन इज सेकेंडरी सेक्शुअल कैरेक्टर्स, मतलब प्यूबिक हेयर एंड एक्सिलरी हेयर है कि नहीं, नंबर 1. नंबर 2, वी विल लुक एट देयर ब्रेस्ट्स. ओके. Now, see, Turner syndrome female will be, they are short, they are webbed neck, they are mentally retarded, they do not have any sexual characteristics because they have streak gonads, उनके पास estrogen नहीं है, तो secondary sexual characters will be absent, means no pubic hair, no axillary hair and they will not have any breast development. तो अगर दोनों absent है एंड शॉर्ट स्टेचर है प्लस शॉर्ट स्टेचर है तो इसका मतलब दे आर टर्नर सिंड्रोम। इसके बाद जब तुम कैरियोटाइप कराएंगे तो उसमें XO आ जाएगा, ठीक है, वेरी वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट। नेक्स्ट कम टू MRKH। MRKH पेशेंट्स के पास ओवरीज होता है, अगर ओवरी है तो फिर ओवरी से क्या होगा, ईस्ट्रोजन सीक्रेट हो रहा है, तो ईस्ट्रोजन सीक्रेट हो रहा है तो ईस्ट्रोजन के साथ साथ थोड़ा बहुत एंड्रोजन भी सीक्रेट होता है, एंड देन एंड्रोजन विल ऑल्सो बी देयर। सो बेसिकली इफ ईस्ट्रोजन इज देयर देन breast will be developed because of estrogen, and the secondary sexual characters will also come. So patient will have axillary hair, patient will have pubic hair, patient will have breast, and stature will be normal stature होगा, height normal होगा। एंड जब कैरियोटाइपिंग कराएंगे तो प्रॉपर XX आएगा, तो शी इज़ अ प्रॉपर फीमेल, बट द थिंग इज़ दैट उसके आउटलेट में ऑब्स्ट्रक्शन है एंड यूट्रस वगैरह नहीं है, तो इसलिए उनको पीरियड्स नहीं आ रहे हैं, बट दे हैव वेरी गुड प्रोग्नोसिस बिकॉज दे हैव देयर ओन ओवरीज, दे कैन प्रोड्यूस देयर ओन चाइल्ड ऑल्सो। कमिंग टू AIS वाले पेशेंट्स का क्या होगा, स्टेचर टॉल होगा, दे विल हैव टॉल स्टेचर। तो एक का शॉर्ट स्टेचर था, एक का नॉर्मल स्टेचर, एक का टॉल स्टेचर। Coming to secondary sexual characters, they will not have any secondary sexual characters. Why? This is because डाइहाइड्रोटेस्टोस्टेरॉन नहीं है, डाइहाइड्रोटेस्टोस्टेरॉन नहीं है तो बाहर के स्किन का जो एक्सटर्नल जेनिटेलिया एंड सेकेंडरी सेक्सुअल कैरेक्टर्स है दैट वाज प्रोड्यूस्ड बाय द डाइहाइड्रोटेस्टोस्टेरॉन, तो दैट इज नॉट देयर, देन सेकेंडरी सेक्सुअल कैरेक्टर्स मतलब हेयर नहीं रहेगा बॉडी में, बट दे विल हैव ब्रेस्ट्स। Why will they have breasts? They are male, but still they are having breasts. This is because this testosterone which was in excess, testosterone was not getting converted to dihydrotestosterone. तो testosterone body में क्या होगा, पेरिफेरल एरोमेटाइजेशन से वो ईस्ट्रोन बन जाएगा, ईस्ट्रोन इज अ फॉर्म ऑफ ईस्ट्रोजन, आई होप यू ऑल नो, ईस्ट्रोजन बन जाएगा, तो ईस्ट्रोजन बन जाएगा तो ब्रेस्ट डेवलपमेंट हो जाएगा, दे विल बी टॉल स्टेचर, उसका कैरियोटाइपिंग कराओगे तो वो मेल आ जाएगा, XY आ जाएगा। सो सी इट इज़ वेरी इजी टू डिफ्रेंशिएट बिटवीन दीज थ्री टाइप ऑफ patients. They will all look like females, none of them will have menses, one of them is male, one of them is proper female, one of them is half karyotype, so X0. Okay. So secondary sexual characters and your breast are the thing which you will check. उसके बाद आप stature देख लोगे, जैसे आपका this will help in giving a provisional diagnosis. After that you can go for karyotyping to get the प्रॉपर डायग्नोसिस। कैरियोटाइपिंग कहाँ से कराते हैं, बक्कल म्यूकोजा से कराते हैं, वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट क्वेश्चन, आई वांट टू स्ट्रेस दिस वंस मोर। आई हैव ऑलरेडी taught in few of my classes but sometimes you all might be ignorant, so I am telling it again. बक्कल म्यूकोजा से कराते हैं, लाइव टिश्यूज से कराना होता है। If you are doing karyotyping from blood sample then you need live cells, so WBCs are the cells जिसका न्यूक्लियस लेके आप कैरियोटाइपिंग करा सकते हो। तो ब्लड के अंदर WBC चेक करते हैं, अदरवाइज लेस इन्वेजिव इज टेकिंग बक्कल म्यूकोजा और हेयर फॉलिकल्स से कैरियोटाइपिंग करा सकते हो, बिकॉज हेयर फॉलिकल्स आर लाइव टिश्यूज बट हेयर इटसेल्फ, हेयर शाफ्ट इज अ डेड टिश्यू। ओके, सो दिस इज व्हाट comes in your examination. A few of the things MCQs I want to stress upon once more. Most common anomaly, most common uterine anomaly is septate uterus. सबसे common septate uterus है, followed by bicornuate uterus is the first question. Second question is most common problem associated with Mullerian duct anomalies is second trimester abortion. So these patients will not have abortion in the first trimester, they will have in the second trimester because there will be repeated implantation. The implantation if it occurs in the septum, suppose in the septum में implantation हो गया तो initially तो problem नहीं होगा, लेकिन जैसे जैसे बच्चा बड़ा होगा the blood supply will be hampered because proper endometrial decidualization will not be able to take place. Then most common anomaly causing abortion, is your septate uterus. Okay, septate uterus has the poorest prognosis, whereas best prognosis in pregnancy, कौन से Mullerian duct anomaly में best outcome है is your this thing arcuate uterus. आर्कुएट यूट्रस, बिकॉज आर्कुएट यूट्रस इटसेल्फ उसमें कुछ प्रॉब्लम नहीं है, इट्स ओनली दैट द फंडल जो बल्ज है वो नहीं है, ठीक है, अदरवाइज इट्स ऑल ओके. सो एंड बाइकॉर्नुएट यूट्रस हैज़ better outcome than septate uterus. So, what is the treatment of choice? What do you do for septate uterus? If it is a septate uterus, then you have to go for hysteroscopic septal resection. Hysteroscopic septal resection. What do you mean by this? It means that you have to go by hysteroscopy, that is नीचे से दूरबीन डाल के then you will resect the septum. Okay, it is very easy, it has good outcome. Bicornuate uterus, coming to bicornuate uterus, what is the treatment of choice for bicornuate uterus? It is unification surgery. Unification surgery मतलब दो यूट्रस को हम एक यूट्रस बनाएंगे, यूनिफाई करेंगे. तो इसको क्या बोलते हैं? एक्चुअली इट इज़ कॉल्ड मेट्रोप्लास्टी. मेट्रोप्लास्टी का मतलब है, मेट्रो मतलब एंडोमेट्रियम मतलब यूट्रस, एंड प्लास्टी मीन्स plastic surgery. Okay, means anything which you are joining or creating. So metroplasty. So दो टाइप के मेट्रोप्लास्टी होता है, एक तो स्ट्रैसमैन्स मेट्रोप्लास्टी, स्ट्रैसमैन्स मेट्रोप्लास्टी, and the second one is Tompkins metroplasty. Tompkins metroplasty. I am not going into detail steps of the Strassman's and Tompkins metroplasty. आप लोगों के लेवल पे it will not be asked, steps will not be asked. It is just for the PGs that we ask steps. For you only the names is important. Strassman's and Tompkins metroplasty are used for bicornuate uterus. Coming to unicornuate uterus. यूनिकॉर्नुएट यूट्रस में बेसिकली हम ट्रीटमेंट क्या करेंगे? बेसिकली ये एक साइड का यूट्रस डेवलप है, दूसरे साइड का नहीं है. सो व्हाट यू डू इज इसको थोड़ा थोड़ा रिसेक्ट करके वी विल जस्ट इंक्रीज द साइज ऑफ द यूट्राइन कैविटी. अगर थोड़ा सा इंक्रीज कर देंगे देन प्रेगनेंसी सही से कंसीव हो जाएगा. दिस इज कॉल्ड लैटरल मेट्रोप्लास्टी. लैटरल मेट्रोप्लास्टी. So lateral metroplasty is used for unicornuate uterus. Strassman's and Tompkins metroplasty are used for bicornuate uterus, whereas hysteroscopic septal resection is the gold standard treatment for septate uterus. Arcuate uterus का कोई treatment की ज़रूरत नहीं है क्योंकि best prognosis outcome है. Basically remember, you have to give treatment to all those patients who have 3 or more abortions. 3 or more abortions. सिर्फ मुलेरियन डक्ट एनोमली सिर्फ बाइकॉर्नुएट यूट्रस है तो उसके लिए आपको मेट्रोप्लास्टी करने की ज़रूरत नहीं है. बट इफ़ पेशेंट इज़ हैविंग बाइकॉर्नुएट यूट्रस एंड उसके बार बार बच्चे खराब हो रहे हैं, एबॉर्शंस हो रहा है, रिपीटेड एबॉर्शंस, देन दिस इज़ एन इंडिकेशन ऑफ गोइंग फॉर सर्जरी मेट्रोप्लास्टी. विदाउट एनी इंडिकेशन अगर सही से कंसीव हो जा रहा है देन सेप्टेट यूट्रस और bicornuate uterus or unicornuate uterus per se is not an indication for surgery. Remember this, you get questions for this also. And always remember दो तीन और चीज़ें I want to tell in the end, that the investigation of choice for all these Mullerian anomalies is MRI. Okay, so investigation of choice is always MRI. Option में MRI रहेगा तो MRI choose करना है. अगर MRI नहीं रहता है then the second best choice is 3D ultrasound. अगर 3D अल्ट्रासाउंड भी नहीं रहता है देन द नेक्स्ट बेस्ट चॉइस इज ऑफ कोर्स यू विल टेक इट एज अल्ट्रासाउंड. ओके, HSG is not an indication in investigation of choice because HSG में you cannot properly differentiate between bicornuate and septate uterus. ये हो गया investigation of choice. Sometimes they ask you what is the gold standard investigation. Gold standard investigation का मतलब है gold मतलब एकदम इट विल बी द हाइएस्ट एविडेंस, मतलब इसमें कोई भी गलती नहीं होगी अगर ये इन्वेस्टिगेशन कराओगे. इज़ योर लैप्रोस्कोपी एंड हिस्ट्रोस्कोपी. लैप्रोस्कोपी एंड हिस्ट्रोस्कोपी. Okay, so if you are seeing the uterus from above and then you are seeing from inside, both if you are doing together then it is gold standard. अगर ये नहीं दिया हुआ है then next best option होगा आपका लैप्रोस्कोपी. ओनली लैप्रोस्कोपी दिया हुआ है तो वो भी आएगा आपका सेकेंड बेस्ट ऑप्शन. बट इन्वेस्टिगेशन ऑफ चॉइस इज़ नेवर लैप्रोस्कोपी एंड हिस्ट्रोस्कोपी क्योंकि सारे जगह पे लैप एंड हिस्ट्रोस्कोपी फैसिलिटी अवेलेबल नहीं है. सो इन्वेस्टिगेशन ऑफ चॉइस विल बी MRI. If MRI is not given, then the second best choice will be 3D ultrasound. 3D ultrasound नहीं दिया हुआ है तो 2D ultrasound. Very very important because some of you have got this MCQ in your examination. So it will be ultrasound which you had got as one of your options. Now, if since we have finished all this, one more thing I would like to stress upon at the very end is if somebody has got HSG done, hysterosalpingography done, then how to differentiate between your bicornuate uterus and your septate uterus. Bicornuate और septate uterus के बीच कैसे differentiate करेंगे? See, remember you use Leach-Wilkinson's cannula. Leach-Wilkinson's cannula for इंजेक्टिंग द डाई इनटू द यूट्राइन कैविटी. फिर डाई क्या करेगा, आपका यूट्राइन कैविटी से होते हुए फेलोपियन ट्यूब से होते हुए बाहर जाएगा. हाउ मच ऑफ डाई डू यू इंजेक्ट? यू इंजेक्ट 10 ml of dye. 10 ml is sufficient because uterine cavity has a volume of 7 ml. I tell again and again, this is a very important question which is asked. कितना है volume of the uterine cavity? It is 7 ml and so we inject 10 ml. ठीक है. अगर बाइकॉर्नुएट यूट्रस है या सेप्टेट यूट्रस है, दोनों में ही आपका यूट्राइन कैविटी ऐसा दिखेगा. यूट्राइन कैविटी विल बी लाइक दिस, बट यू कैन नॉट बी 100% श्योर क्योंकि सेप्टम भी कभी कभी थिक रहता है तो उसमें ऐसा आ जाएगा. एंड योर बाइकॉर्नुएट यूट्रस बोथ कॉर्नुआ कैन ऑल्सो बी वेरी पास टू वन अनदर एंड सो वो सेप्टम की तरह दिखेगा. सो व्हाट, हाउ डू यू डिफ्रेंशिएट? वन इज योर, द फर्स्ट पॉइंट इज योर intercornual distance. Intercornual distance. If the intercornual distance means ये एक cornua है, from one cornua to the दूसरा cornua, what is the distance? If it is more than 4 centimeter, then you are probably telling that it might be a bicornuate uterus, whereas if it is less than 4 centimeters, then it is probably a septate uterus. So, more than equal 4 centimeter is bicornuate, probable, these are probable diagnosis, and less than 4 centimeter is septate uterus. The second point which we see is the angle between the two cornua. So, intercornual angle, okay, intercornual angle means this is the intercornual angle. ये दोनों कॉर्नुआ के बीच, this is the angle, intercornual angle. Okay. So, if the intercornual angle is obtuse, if it is obtuse, that is if it is more than 105 degrees, if it is or more than 75 degree, 75 degree you can take or 90 degree. ठीक है, और some people say if it is more than 105 degrees or 120 degree, okay, means it is obtuse, okay, then it is bicornuate. If it is less than 60 degree, then it is probably septate uterus, okay. And then the third point which is very important is your intercornual downward cleft depth, okay. So, the intercornual cleft depth. Now, what do you mean by this? This means कि ये जो cleft है इसका depth कितना है? What is the depth of this cleft? Okay, what is the depth of this cleft? दोनों cornua के बीच जो line एक हुआ है and आपका जो uterus के बीच वाला जो space है इसके बीच depth कितना है? If it is more than 1 centimeter, then it is suggestive of probability of bicornuate uterus is more, and if it is less than 1 centimeter depth, intercornual cleft depth, then it is more probable than it is a septate uterus. So, in septate uterus the treatment will be, you will go for hysteroscopic resection of the septum, and in this you will go for metroplasty operation. Metroplasty operations are done. Stressman's or Tompkins metroplasty is done for bicornuate uterus. So, this is how you generally approach a patient who have Mullerian anomalies, and so you treat accordingly. So, this is what we have studied in part 2 today. Basically revising once more, there was fusion defects, there were vertical fusion defects and horizontal fusion defects. Then we had studied transverse vaginal septum and imperforate hymen, how to differentiate between the two, what are the symptoms and how do we go about. Then we had studied Mullerian duct anomalies in detail. American Fertility Society classification of 7 classes is what we have studied in this chapter. ASHRAE classification, I will try to upload a different video where we will be talking. You practically do not need if you are giving NEET examination, but for AIIMS and PGI, those who are aiming for that, they might need. So, I will be teaching them separately. Then you have all the treatments of all these things. DES exposure anomaly is very important. DES exposure as such is a very important question for MCQs for your NEET PG. Then I have told you the practically what is the difference between AIS, MRKH and Turner syndrome. So, please be good on this topic. Then your treatment of septate uterus, bicornuate uterus, unicornuate uterus, and in HSG how do you differentiate between bicornuate and septate uterus. And of course, if it is a didelphys uterus, तो वो अच्छे से पता चल जाता है HSG में, because there is two vagina होगा तो you will have 2 Leach-Wilkinson's cannula which will be inserted. 2 Leach-Wilkinson's cannula आपको दिख जाएगा, नीचे से ऐसे इंसर्ट किया हुआ है, 2 कैनुला डाल के हम डाई इंजेक्ट कर रहे हैं. ओके, सो दिस इज ऑल अबाउट दिस एंड आई होप यू हैव एंजॉयड दिस क्लास. सो स्टे ट्यून्ड एंड आज ही जाके आप लोगों को पढ़ना है अच्छे से एंड देन you have to solve the MCQs. One more thing I want to tell, I don't want to miss it, is if a patient is having MRKH syndrome तो उसका ट्रीटमेंट क्या है. ठीक है, उनके पास तो सिर्फ ओवरीज है, दे आर ओनली हैविंग ओवरीज एंड नथिंग मोर, नथिंग इज देयर, इनके पास नहीं है एक्सेप्ट ब्लाइंड वेजाइना. सो व्हाट यू डू इज जनरली यू हैव टू गो फॉर मैकिंडो रीड वेजाइनोप्लास्टी. इसका मतलब क्या है, वेजाइना का जो लेंथ है दैट यू विल ट्राई टू इंक्रीज. सो व्हाट यू कैन डू इज यू विल इंसर्ट ग्रेजुअल डायलेटर्स. जो डायलेटर्स हमारे पास DNC में हम यूज करते हैं, दोज डायलेटर्स वी कीप इंसर्टिंग इनटू द वेजाइना and then we try to dilate the vagina and increase the vaginal length. Vaginal length can be increased for a successful coitus, so that patient does not have dyspareunia. That can be done and patient will be explained properly that she will not be able to become pregnant because she will not have uterus. But if she goes for uterine transplant surgery, then transplant के साथ of course pregnancy is possible and she can get her own eggs. Eggs is possible because they have their ovaries. So, eggs लेके you can have an IVF, in vitro fertilization, followed by a surrogacy. Surrogacy means किसी और के पेट में डाल के, किसी और के यूट्रस में डाल के प्रेगनेंसी किया जा सकता है. So, her own egg can be used for fertilization, IVF, and surrogacy can be done and they can take the baby. Or the second option is they can directly go for adoption of somebody else's baby, or if she wants pregnancy उसके अंदर ही चाहिए, then she has to get a uterine transplantation done followed by conceiving the baby. Otherwise, she has to, for a good coitus after her marriage, she has to get Makindo vaginoplasty, or there are other procedures also. Williams vaginoplasty is also there, or there can be Vicchetti procedure, Vicchetti operation. These are the types of operation. Vicchetti is laparoscopic. Laparoscopic vaginoplasty is called Vicchetti operation. So, these all can be done. One important fact I want to tell is Purandare sir, Sailesh Purandare sir, I have practically met also sir, Purandare, Sailesh Putambekar sir is a pioneer in uterine transplant and he is the person who has done first uterine transplant in India in Pune in 2017, followed by successful pregnancy in a patient of MRKH. So, this is all about this chapter. See you in next class. Till then, try to study this chapter properly. Any doubts, you can message me or call me up anytime and let me know, and try to solve the MCQs as well. Thank you so much.